77th rare share of Aurangabad Management Association of Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. At the beginning itself, I am thanking everyone for joining on the last day of Shravan, even though we have a festival today. Welcome to the 77th rare share session. Today we have with us Mr. Vineet Peety. He is Director SRJ Peety Steels Private Limited, and I bet we are going to have excellent rare share session today. Won't take much of time, you know everyone, but I will also later on our AMA members will brief about it, about AMA and activities. I will invite on the stage Mr. Vineet Peety, Mr. CP Tripathi sir, Mr. Ashish Garde of AMA is the president, and Mr. CP Tripathi is chairman emeritus, and Mr. Munish Sharma. Sir, please. I will request Shri CP Tripathi Sahab to welcome Mr. Vineet Peety. And I will also request CP Tripathi Sahab to give a formal welcome to Mr. Munish Sharma, please.
Not required. I hope the next AMA real share happens before these clouds rise.
And now I will request Mr. Ashish Garde, President AMA, to speak about AMA and its activities.
Welcome to the 77th rare share of MA and the second in series at MIT. At the outset, I welcome you all for this very interesting and inspiring session. Needless to mention that today we have one of the youngest speaker on rare share platform, and all of us are equally eager to listen to Vineet Peety. I must thank him for accepting the invitation in one go. In spite of he being such a busy person traveling all over the world, even though from Jalna, but he is here with us. Quickly, I will give you some background about AMA. Aurangabad Management Association is dedicated and working for fostering the spirit of management and innovation amongst the students, faculties, and even the representatives from various industries. I see many students in this audience. So, for the benefit of these students, Aurangabad Management Association in the past has conducted around 30 different sessions wherein we had invited various industries in the region to share their best practices. So that was a sort of attempt for sharing the knowledge, sharing the best practices and learning from the peers, and it was indeed a very important and unique initiative initiated by our chairman CP Tripathi sir. So under his guidance, all these 25 plus rare shares dedicated on sharing best practices from various industries were hosted, and it comprises of all categories of industries. There were few multinational companies, there were few homegrown companies, few even MSMEs also. So that was a very unique initiative. Subsequent to that, we thought we should go beyond the best practices which are adopted in industries, and invite individuals from different walks of life, so that also on AMA platform. So in nutshell, if I have to say, as far as rare shares are concerned, we have personalities from different walks of life who have shared their unique experiences, their journey, and as they share their journey and unique experiences, the audience get lot to learn as they listen to the rare share of the speaker. I am sure some of you who are in the audience, we would like to see you also sharing your rare share in days to come. Why I am saying so with so much of confidence? Because we are in MIT and I know the kind of efforts Kaude sir, Munish Sharma sir and the entire team of MIT is taking over the years. They have transformed the culture of this total institute, and we are really privileged to have such institute in our city and contributing to the growth and development of the region. I won't take much of time. I once again welcome you, and I'm sure you will be really delighted to listen to Vineet Peety as he shares his rare share. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashish sir. Now I will request our core committee member, AMA core committee member, Shri Sanjay Sangai sir, to please come on the dais and kindly introduce Mr. Vineet Peety. Sir, please.
Dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries among the audience. I got proud privilege to introduce today's eminent speaker, Mr. Vineet Peety. As explained by Ashish, he is the youngest among the rare share, and we have a lot of learnings. So, focus is on the performance at his industry, and with this focus, he carries the hailing from the prominent steel manufacturing family. He is the third generation entrepreneur who grew up watching his father and his brother drive the family business forward from a very young age. He wanted to follow their footsteps. Business was not just a choice, it was a passion. Instilled in him, though the inspiring environment he was raising. While interacting with him, he has told us that he likes the mathematics and he is from finance. He has done his education from UK. So businessman with an interest in and passion in mathematics with financial background, we have very fortunate to learn about how in the business can be run with the profit, and how profit can be optimized, and how the performance can be taken to the next level of the industry in a short period. We all know the steel industry. In general, we got an image about the steel industry, but when he will take us through his journey, you will really understand the steel industry is the benchmarking for all other industry, and his journey, he has introduced the industry 4.4. The SRJ group, he led the design and implementation of industry 4.0 and encouraged data-driven decision making. He spent last 3 years participating in the vision of building SRJ into the precision steel manufacturing and installing India's first precision steel mill in Jalna. Those strategic foresight, he is positioning SRJ into the benchmark for modern steel manufacturing of the country. He is building the organization with strategic focus and taking it to the next level of the steel mill performance of benchmarking itself. So now SRJ is known among the all steel mill. Anybody want to visit Jalna or discuss with the steel sector, many of the vendors we interact, many vendors are common with industry. They first take we want to go to SRJ. So SRJ name has come to the SRJ name has to come to the benchmarking industry level because of his efforts and taking the industry on the professional front and on the performance front. Today, he not only plays an active role in the steel industry, but also handles his family investment office, where he channels his deep-rooted passion for capital market, field that captured him from his earliest years. But his pursuit is extended far beyond business. He is accomplished violinist, so he also plays the violin, and a talented athlete. So you can visualize the speaker who is having a financial background, who is entrepreneur, has got an interest in mathematics and finance. He plays the violin and then he also athlete. So, so with all this Ashtapayu Vyaktimatva we have for the rehearsal today, having having represented Maharashtra in table tennis, he also holds the remarkable distinction of being the youngest chapter chair of Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar of young Indians in the country, leading from the front and inspiring others with his vision. At his core, he is driven by deep commitment to poverty upliftment, working tirelessly to contribute towards better, more equipped society. Please join me in giving him warm welcome to Mr. Vineet Peety.
Thank you, sir. Now I will request dignitaries if they can occupy in the audience. It will be nice to see the presentation. And won't take much of time. I will request Vineet, please go ahead. We will enjoy. Thank you.
Sir, for the introduction, thank you very much. That was very kind of you. I am Vineet and I would like to begin with my sincere gratitude to Shri Ashish Garte sir. आपने कहा कि एक ही बार में accept कर लिया sir. आपके कहने के बाद मना करना संभव है. Thank you for giving me this opportunity and this platform. Also, thank you to the organizers for conducting 76 such so that I could come on 77. So thank you for that. And to our beloved audience, thank you for being here. I see a lot of students, I see a lot of familiar faces. Rare Share is a space where we share not only just success, but very rare stories, rare struggles, rare experiences that have shaped our journeys. But I must tell you that there is nothing rare that I'm about to share here today. It's a bunch of stories and experiences that I have been lucky to be a part of, and I'm just here to narrate them. So in the next 30 minutes, I will be sharing stories of successes, failures, and lessons learned along the way. A very similar experience, which I'm sure each one of you goes through every day. I have 9 slides, so whoever wants to just phase off every time I change it. Every slide is 3 minutes of information, so that's that. COVID was a critical time for the world, an unprecedented time. There was pain and confusion all across the globe. Work from home was a concept that wasn't popular yet, and Zoom was not our go-to platform. In these times of chaos and confusion, we started an edutech company called EduMates, a combination of 2 words for the non-Gen Z people here. That's education and mates, that's friends, so EduMates there. I tell this story because this has been a pivotal point of my life and taught me lessons that continuously shape me every day. A bunch of my friends and I decided that we needed to do something together just because we had a lot of time on our hands. We didn't know what to do. We started brainstorming at what problems can we all come together and solve, and upon various rounds of discussions, we realized that there was a gap in the market. There was no platform that at that point for students who wanted to study in various universities in UK or US to seek feedback from the current students who are there. So, and this is a very important thing because when you are studying in a university abroad, you would want to know the experiences there so that, because this decision of what university to study in shapes the rest of your life. To empower students to make a choice was the goal. So we created this platform. This platform creation involved a lot of coding and core tech skills. Developing software and writing code is not is not something that I've ever done. But instantly, me and a bunch of friends found a way to build a team together across many different universities, and we did that. In fact, these became our potential customers for this initiative, and they themselves built something for them very beautifully. So we called this our 3MP, that is a 3-month project, because we all realized that this is the only time we have. So 3 months we want to do this experiment. From there on, we started onboarding schools and colleges where the best of minds and people from all echelons of society wanted to study in. University of Oxford, University of Cambridge, LSE, London Business School. The best minds they onboarded us, and to say the very least, happily invited us and joined our platform. I later figured that we had created a selling machine. We had created a machine to generate high quality leads for such universities, which became a great selling point. We officially onboarded more than 45 different universities in the UK and a couple dozen universities in the US. We also had an active user engagement of 3,800 students. Building a platform, launching it, and getting such reciprocation from the highest and the bestest of minds across the world, all of this happened in 3 months. As we progressed, we developed a few more applications for them for their internal use. And only 6 months after incorporation, we sold our main products to a UK-based organization and moved on. Now, right from the beginning, we all knew that this was a mere experiment and one of my most successful experiments. This boosted a lot of confidence amongst the team members and the chief executives of the company because we were all kids, and for the first time, we realized the power of internet and the power of a good product. In those 3 months, we built a team of 50 plus programmers across 2 different languages, 20 plus sales rep across universities and countries, and a very good C-suite that helped us scale within the first 5 to 6 months. I was no good at building a tech company. That is not what I knew how to do. But I learned that if tried, I can probably do it. And this is a very good, important lesson for all of you students. These experiences introduced me to the art of collaboration, which in today's day and age is my greatest weapon. It also taught me to align with and build organizations that solve real problems. So all of you here as an executive, day in and day out, all we do is solve problems for our own organizations. But my question to you is, are you working for an organization that solves problems? Are you aligned with any creation of impact in the society or the humanity or the country in any manner or sort? And I think that's a very good reflection point for you. Moving ahead, I would narrate the story of early days at SRJ. SRJ is the parent company that I work for. I returned from Loughborough University in 2019 with a bachelor's degree to my name in the subject of economics and finance. I had big dreams and envisioned becoming top 10 steel manufacturers of the country before 2030. I was 20 years old, and when I joined SRJ, I was familiar with most departments and most key people there because I had spent 2 summers interning in my high school duration. So the moment I joined, all I tried to do was learn the current practices of the organization. I enjoyed understanding the functioning of various departments, and it was rather easy for me to analyze the different styles of leadership and operations that were conducted. Once I had a fair idea of the organization culture and the complex web of operations, I started looking at systems, and that became my favorite topic. And I was overwhelmed by it. We had discipline, we had processes, and a way of doing things that worked. But I could see that the world was shifting. Industry 4.0 was not just a buzzword anymore. It was becoming the backbone of manufacturing globally, and if we wanted for SRJ to compete and also lead, we had to move much faster. The opportunity came when I noticed how much time and accuracy we were losing in manually logging and human-dependent monitoring. Now, there are many reasons for that, but instead of relying only on the tried and tested methods, I pushed for connected systems, real-time data collection and IoT monitoring. We started documenting everything that happened. It wasn't easy convincing people who had decades of experience that machines and algorithms could see things before they happened. Was a cultural shift and not just a technical one. But I approached it differently. I didn't talk about replacing people or that you were not good enough for that. We talked about empowering them. We started SRJ School inside, where professors from various universities actually came and taught engineering to such people. My first success was in reducing the amount of energy required to melt the melt the raw material. Now, for people who are here from steel manufacturing background, this is the biggest problem that we face. And therefore, this was the biggest win. Any experiment did conduct in this direction. We realized that there was a complex scheduling problem which was usually handled by experience. Calls were taken by HODs and engineers at that point in time, which may have been accurate, no discredit to them, but weren't very consistent. So we put a simple system of IoTs and a small algorithm to calculate the electricity required, and voila, scheduling was better and electricity consumption reduced drastically. After that, we installed sensors to track machine performance in many processing machines like that of scrap. And suddenly, instead of waiting for breakdowns or relying on estimates, we had data that predicted problems before they happened. Because of this, we rapidly expanded and added on capacities. In the next 1.5 years, we increased our capacities by 30% twice. I want to highlight here that technology brought results, but also a change in culture. The next time we were purchasing machinery or we were hiring, the skill set that we were looking was different. The conversation that was happening in the offices were different. As we progressed, our abilities to take risks increased. Interestingly, financial year 2025 was one of the most difficult period years for steel industry. There were multiple geopolitical reasons behind it, and there was almost little to nothing that we could do about it. It is very interesting that we were just starting to manufacture HR coils, and China started dumping the same, creating massive amounts of pressure on the economy. The prices of coal and iron ore were heavily manipulated across the world because of many international conflicts, and we were directly affected by it. This happened to an extent that continually investing in the project became a problem. At this point in time, we were setting up SRG strips and pipes, and investing in the project became excessively difficult. It is in the same period we experienced many technical difficulties, and the commissioning date of the project just seemed to go further and further away. It is very interesting because all the problems that we thought we would not have, all the problems that we had read about, we got to experience all of them together. Every day seemed like a struggle, and a story so intense, I wish everyone here gets to experience it once. Then started the representation to the government of India. We as Association of Industries came together to appeal to the steel ministry, and the financial burden on the economy and the manufacturers became insurmountable. And the government finally stepped in after 10 months, levying an anti-dumping duty. After 10 months of investigation. I narrate this story because I want to highlight the decisions that were taken and that made leaders what they are in these critical times. Every time we are faced by a challenge, our elders acknowledged the effort and sincerity towards the action. Apart from the guidance on solving technical problems, which was always available, they boosted our morale by assuring us that everybody is working towards the same goal of the organization and in the best interest of the organization. They kept on assuring that it is only if we do our job well that later on problems may not appear again. Even in such times, we were never told to take shortcuts or compromise in any of the decisions. And I think that shows real culture and leadership. Today we take these words lightly, and they are very abstract terms without very definitive definitions. But I think this is, if I have ever experienced that, it is in such intense times of testing of character. As times progressed, we realized that there was a need of revision of the path that the organization was on. SRJ was a name of national importance in the industry for long products. But we knew that we couldn't bet on the industry growing exponentially for the next 20 years. Times were changing, new ideas were needed. And at that time, as I said, COVID hit. Traveling was restricted. Conversations moved to Zoom. In the midst of chaos and confusion, a very structured approach was taken on diversification of products. The idea of venturing into flat steel industry became a possibility. although it was a mere extension in the steel industry itself, it was a space that we were completely unknown, that was completely unknown to us. We quickly built a team of advisors, visited a lot of engineering consultants, and prepared ourselves to venture into the unknown. And that was the most important part. It took several months of planning on the drawing board. Various business models were developed, and it was difficult to choose one. For the company to create a new industry entirely would require a lot of capex into plant machinery, which seemed like a remote possibility given that we did not have access to such talent or such proven track record of any other company around us. So this is rare that in this scenario, this is where a rare showcase of leadership took place. While venturing out into the unknown, the management often encouraged us to look at it as a 20-year journey rather than a couple of years where you wanted to get your money back. And with all of the vision and the values aligned of the management, we incorporated the facility of precision steel. The only way this organization could see the light of day if many technology partners, many equipment manufacturers, and along with them came and shared their knowledge. The problem was that a lot of know-how of this was not available in the country. Apart from trade restrictions, it was physically impossible to visit such technology partners outside and look at the products and make an informed decision. This is where things get interesting because then we tapped onto the subject matter experts of the nation, met them, insisted them on forming collaborations with such vendors outside of the country, brought the technology to India and then purchased it by them. And therefore, I am very proud to announce that SRJ Strips and Pipes is 100% made in Bharat. The collaborations were formed across companies in China and Germany, and the one sentence that I said just now of the collaboration that were formed, this is how 6 months of mine looked like, with one singular objective. After having locked in the technological parameters, we then moved on towards the detailed engineering of the industry. Now, before I joined SRJ, I knew there were 6 different types of engineers. But this detailed engineering phase, plant phase, involved 20 plus different specialty fields of engineering. So running the teams was a little tricky to say the least. Now that there was conviction and clarity for the path ahead, we went on towards building this actual project. In the months to follow, 4 of us participated in 350 plus negotiations, traveled domestically to 28 different cities, and built a team of 600 people. This engineering marvel was built by contributions from 2,000 plus people that worked there actively. More than 600 vendors of all sizes participated, and the best minds of the steel industry came together to make this dream a reality. To give you context, commissioning of such greenfield steel projects usually takes 3 to 4 years. I am very happy to announce that we commissioned this in less than 21 months, just shy of 2 years. What I want you to take away from this story is that success is replicable. Often there is a systematic method which followed could get you closer to the goals. Now start thinking of the direction of who you are, of who are the smartest people in your industry and what is it that you could learn from them. I'm sure if you write them an email, they'll be happy to share their knowledge. Be very clear on the problem you're facing. Speak to your current vendors as they have a broader exposure of the industry. Speak to your customers and experiment with what they want. They might not be able to tell you what you should do with your organization, but they are the best people to give you feedback on what they feel about the product. Analyze the competition and build a structure for how you want to progress. Just like there are ups and downs in life, so are they in business. We were quite content with the team we had built and the way we were progressing ahead. After having commissioned the strip mill, we soon realized that we are not out of the waters yet. To make this unit a viable one, years of hard work and dedication was necessary. The nature of problems changed, but the gravity did not. In the midst of all of this, our Chief Technological Officer, our CTO, and two of our key engineers had to leave the organization. If it was up to them, they would have retired here. But unfortunately, life played its tricks and they were forced because of their own personal reasons. And it felt like the sun set on us. We very soon realized that there was a deep need of competency building in this organization. We took guidance from consultants and training agencies. Although such people cannot be replaced, we built the new team members who had the know-how. But this time we were very, very careful. It's been 7 months since that happened, and although we have built a great team now and we are in line with our goals as we progress, we now have systems and practices that replicate such skill set amongst the organization. We hired more than 30 GETs, graduate engineer trainees, and kept providing them inter-department training. Built a performance excellence team to fill in the roles of key people if necessary, and focused on documentation to avoid any catastrophes. Of course, it doesn't always guarantee the result, but I'm sure it will help mitigate the risk. Moving on, mentors. Over the course of 6 years that I have been involved in the family business, I have had the opportunity to interact with many great minds that influenced decisions, shaped personality, and helped build my vision for the organization. Mentorship is something that I continually seek to satisfy the hunger for a better worldview. Mentorship provides better tools to relate with the world and act in it. It provides better tools to satisfy your desires of achieving certain goals. I am grateful that I have been blessed with more friends and mentors that I had ever hoped for. I have found them in my family, in my friends, in my colleagues, in books, and most importantly, the people who have taught me what not to do. And that's very important. I realized this very early on in my career that it is a zero-sum game if two people who are competing instead of collaborating. Collaboration is the only success metric that I would rate myself with. The founders of organizations very similar to us have been a great example of that. They have always held each other's hands, they have always helped each other and wished the best for each other. Therefore, in the fraternity of Jalna Steel Manufacturing Association, we proudly say this is the spirit of collaborative competition. Seeing this spirit of camaraderie has inspired a lot of my actions towards building a better product and an organization. Now, mentorship comes in many ways. Sometimes it just comes from observing, sometimes it comes in great advice. But I've been very lucky in finding such things around me. There have been many friends, many families, many colleagues, and many well-wishers who voluntarily came and helped me correct my course. And I am forever grateful to them for that. To assimilate all the advice that I've ever received, and as my favorite author Naval Ravikanta says, what is the best advice you have ever received? I would narrow it down to these 3 topics. That is Swadharma, obsession, and 3 C's of success. Speaking of Swadharma, focus on your own unique strengths and authentic interests rather than following the path of others. Follow your genuine curiosity, and that is the best way to achieve long-term happiness. After being introduced to this concept, I took some time out and reflected on it. Reflected on my core interests. Investigated what are my natural inclinations. Experimented by building a social media marketing agency back in 2018, ran it for 9 months. Built a tech company, which we spoke about, and I soon realized while that I was involved in a multitude of things, the area of interest that I always wanted to specialize in was finance. It just came natural to me. I enjoyed working on it, I enjoyed studying it. To pursue this, in the middle of commissioning my dream project, I moved to Mumbai for 6 months and practiced the art of investing in capital markets with the best fund managers of the country. Point number 2, obsession. You gotta be obsessed. You need a sense of obsession towards whatever you are doing. Think of organizations with a 20-year long-term view and solve for that. These are long-term goals, and your instant gratification methods will not help you in any manner. They are bound to bring you unhappiness. Appreciate the complexity of work around you and do not deter. For good things to happen, and in this case, for SRJ to run scale of this operations, it requires a lot of time and effort. Rome wasn't built in a day. It comes at a cost of sacrifice. Sometimes you trade it off with friends, family, and even personal relationships. Now, what you see here is very interesting because this is what we call an engineer's room. Okay. Now, this engineer's room was my office for 6 months, and which is in the middle of nowhere in the plant, right inside beside the rolling mill. And ironically, so me and 4 other team members used to sit in it. Ironically, none of us are engineers. And we sat there and built the foundation for SRJ strips and pipes. Daily actions that are taken towards building your business somehow contributes and gets you to the next stage. In the same breath, I would like to acknowledge the fact that obsession works on one principle, and that is action is the insignia of life. No amount of doubt or fear must stop you from acting. You must act consistently. To make your action successful and powerful, you need the 3 C's of life: concentration, cooperation, and consistency. Any of the students here want to give a try to define concentration? I see a lot of students here. Anyone? Anyone? Concentration, what is the definition of concentration? Someone? Sir, please.
It's the ability to deflect all other inputs except the one on which you are focusing.
Phenomenally, sir. Well said, sir. Thank you very much. Concentration, the definition is to act while staying in the present without slipping into the worries of the past or anxieties of the future. I was hoping for focus, and that would have been very interesting. Cooperation. A narrow beam of light will not help you cross a dark path, but a collection of such narrow beams can illuminate the path ahead. Without cooperation of all the stakeholders involved, nothing meaningful can be achieved. And of course, consistency. Your action must be directed towards in one direction with over a long period of time. I bring this topic on of reading because this is something that is very close to my heart. I noticed that people who have a genuine interest to read are poised for success. They can tap onto experiences of others, gain key insights, and shape their own lives. Although I say I realize this, I read much less than what I would actually want to. For most of my childhood, I kept on collecting books that I thought I'll read someday, but never got to reading it. Therefore, in the rare occasions that I completed a book cover to cover, it acted like a trophy to me. I felt like it was a real achievement. Coming to today, books are often my go-to source for finding non-fiction entertainment or just to get a different perspective on my current situation. But I still can't get myself to read for hours on end, which is okay because I do genuinely enjoy reading now. I have brute forced my way into reading and to do so to achieve my specific goals. While I was in my 7th grade, I stumbled across a book called How to Make $1 Million Before Lunch. As a kid, $1 million in 2009 or 10 felt like infinite money. I was intrigued and I bought the book. I read the first 20 pages of it and got introduced to the concept of stock market and fund managers. I have that book even today and I still haven't read that book cover to cover. But my point is, you have no idea what idea will enter in your life and completely change the course of your life. I say that today because that's what I want to highlight. Generally, non-fiction books have one major theme that they want to impart their knowledge on, and a lot of minor themes and extensions of those examples surrounding it. Although this is not to say that the major themes are covered in the initial few chapters, please don't get me wrong. I would definitely encourage you to read the book cover to cover. But if you genuinely want to build a habit of reading, try and avoid putting pressure on yourself for reading the books. Just grasp the necessary concepts and move on. There are unlimited authors and unlimited great books in the world which must come into your mind and entertain you and inspire you. Skim through the chapters if necessary, but just do. Even the smallest of words can inspire and bring a change in your decision making. These are the two books that have helped me choose the university I wanted to go to, the two other beside the book. They've helped me with almost every decision that I take, that is, be it how to make a SOP for a business, or how to build a team, or how to govern your personal relationships, everything. One of them is Ray Dalio, it's called Principles, it's by Ray Dalio. He also happens to be an economist, a mathematician, and a fund manager. And the other one is Asim Dhruv's Mondays at 7. I am now on my concluding slide. So first off, thank you for listening. For all those people who drifted away, please come back. This is a 1-minute summary for all. If there is anything you want to take away home from this conversation, is that you and your business or your organizations are not very different. We may be different in legal terms. Yes, we are sure two different legal entities, but we really are not when it comes to reality. Business and all at the positions that you are is all about taking decisions. And a successful business is made of a series of good decisions over long periods of time. So a lot of your personal factors weigh in and decides the quality of the business that you run. Your health will affect the quality of your decisions. Your physical health is largely governed by the nutrition you provide it and the exercise you give it. Take care of it. Become intentional with it. Inculcating the habit of reading will help you make good quality decisions. Adopt it. Do whatever is necessary. Be curious. Ask questions. Seek feedback. Look at the people around you and make a list of questions what you could learn from them. Investigate your own assumptions and get to the core of it. I would just like to reiterate the last point, Swadharma and obsession. Things that come to you naturally are probably easier to become obsessions. For you to achieve anything meaningful or contribute to any level for any kind of growth, you will need to be obsessed. So choose wisely. Never cease to be curious, never cease to experiment, never cease to build culture. Thank you very much.
Dear audience, if you have any questions, you are free to ask.
Something new in the traditional business. Steel industry is a traditional industry.
Very traditional.
What are the remarks from your seniors?
Phenomenal question, sir. Thank you for that. Are there anybody here who represents any kind of family business and would want to take this? Anyone? Sir, I think the reason why I'm standing here is because my elders encouraged me. I do not need to answer how they behave because I am the testament of it. I am here with 3 of my colleagues that I work with day in and day out, and my brothers, and all of them are here because they have provided a platform. I often am asked this question of family business and third generation entrepreneur and ability, general notion of certain kind of rigidity towards that. But it is far from truth. I believe family business has proven to be a platform for growing and nothing else. So I think my elders have done a great job. Thank you for them. Thank you to them for that.
Shed. I'm referring to that photo. You mentioned that 4 of you were operating from that place and all 4 of you were not engineers.
Yeah.
So how you could contribute to your organization in its transformation journey without being the engineer? That's my question number
Sir.
one.
Okay.
My second question is, while Sanjay Sanghai sir introduced you, he highlighted a couple of your passions. Like you have represented Maharashtra in table tennis, you play violin, you are an athlete. So all these, how they have contributed to your personality as today who you are?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Sir, थोड़े heavy questions है. But to answer the first part, what are people like us doing in that room? You are very right. We had no business being there. This question goes to the entire philosophy of how we built this organization. 2020 is when we incorporated this idea and started working on it. In our family, sir, I think it is very important for all of us, for all of you to note that merit wins, meritocracy wins, straight and simple. So, and I am not an engineer, and I had faced a lot of pushback from the current system, because without being an engineer, taking such decisions gets difficult. So instead, how there are times in everyone's lives that one particular moment defines the entire course of your life or could change it forever. I'm going to narrate one of them to you. When we were in the detailed engineering phase of this strip mill, there was a list of machineries that we needed to buy, and the list went on and on. The list went about more than 600 vendors were involved. Now, when I was a part of making those lists and looking at what was necessary to do that, I think how I responded to that shaped everything. I loved the fact that there were 600 people that I needed to interact with. So in 2020 and 2021, I and team took more than 200 flights just to visit each and every possible vendor in the country across 29 different cities, just to experience what is the exact machine that they're providing. Sure, we were not engineers, but I think common sense was used there a little bit to understand who is good for us, who is not good for us, how does the machine operate. And this happened a lot, because out of the 600, only 7-8 decisions are critical. But we visited most of them because that is how we knew that we would later on be able to troubleshoot, that we actually understood the product. Sir, many things, if you would have said, I would not have known how they looked like. I have no idea how they look like. But I think that decision, that excitement and that curiosity to visit each and every plant that was possible in those circumstances, we took it. Not only this, sir, we stayed in most prominent plants of the country, steel manufacturing units. We stayed in them for weeks to understand how they operate, what does the layout look like, what are the kind of people handling it. So I think that gave us a very good idea and built a little bit of credibility in the family to, for them to trust, for them to trust us with this decision. So that was part number one. Part number two, you asked, sir, about the multi, things that I was involved in, be it table tennis or the violin. So I think table tennis, again, do I have time? Can I tell another story? Great. Table tennis, I think, sir, has been the most important part of my life, because this is where I learned discipline. There's a very quick story I'll narrate. So I started learning table tennis when I was 8 years old, like 3rd or 4th standard. And we had a tutor who came home and taught us that. Me and my brothers used to learn. So of course, being a child in 4th standard, you don't want to wake up at 5 o'clock to learn this and whatnot. And the teacher was the kindest of all. He was the most kind-hearted soul, most patient soul. He used to come wake us up in our room, get us out of our room, and take us to play. So very kind of him, bless him. But the warm-up that he made us do was the most interesting. So what he used to do was, table tennis, if anybody here plays table tennis professionally, oh, fantastic, sir, great to see. Table tennis is usually played with 200 balls at a time, while practicing. So what he used to do was, all 200 balls used to spill across the floor, and we were supposed to go and collect each ball one at a time. I think there is nothing that can teach you, just focus on one thing at a time and do that thing until it gets completed better than table tennis. So given the kind of role table tennis has played in my life, I think it would have been a injustice to have let it out of my system. And the best part is at our home, be it my father, be it my brothers, all of us play table tennis together. So Sunday is not complete without playing table tennis. That is that. And when you speak of other things such as violin, I wish we would have stayed closer to the Hindustani classical music. But I think it has shaped a lot of my interests growing up. So I am a professionally trained tabla player, and that happened when since I was 4 years old. Sir, and this is for everyone. If you come into our homes, if you look at my family, and if you talk to my brothers, you will find that we can play all the instruments that there are professionally. Some member or someone can play anything that you can think of. So I think it's the culture which we grew up with. I think all the credit goes to the elders for keeping this alive and fueling that fire. I hope that answers the question. So, I think.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I have 3 questions for you. First question is, what was your biggest mistake or mistakes? And what did you learn from them?
So lots of mistakes, sir. Biggest, I think you should ask my dad. They'll probably tell you more about my mistakes than I can tell. But many of them. I think the first thing that pops to my mind is the resistance of taking good decisions when you don't understand them. In our line of business, there is no one correct answer. Context matters a lot, and dynamic decision making is important. So I think the immaturity, or rather the resistance of taking correct decisions at the time, even if painful, would be the general category of my biggest mistakes. And so what was the second part?
Sir, what do you enjoy the most of being an entrepreneur?
Enjoy the most. I didn't know we had to enjoy, sir. Sorry, I think there's not a lot of enjoyment that goes around in being an entrepreneur. I think entrepreneurship just translates to extreme accountability. So I think building organizations is the most fun part of my life. I love doing it and continually would do so.
The last question is, sir, how do you manage your work-life balance? And what are your daily habits that keep you successful?
I know I represent the later on generation from you all, sir, but I don't subscribe to the concept of work-life balance. I have a few of my colleagues here, and I think they would probably agree, and they are looking at me with eyes. So yes, work-life balance has not been a very I think I cannot boast a lot about that. But yes, I think it is only imbalance if you feel the pressure of. If you enjoy what you do, I simply don't see the need of any kind of deviations. I just love what I do. So I think that makes it easier. And daily habits, I think, like we said, focusing on your health as much as you can, reading, involving yourself with Hindustani classical music, in my case, the violin, whatnot, or sports. I think these are the things. And of course, great friends. I think they are what, these are the good habits which help us. Thank you. I hope that answers.
Yeah, through those 600 vendors. Could you please talk more something about it?
Then what is the point, sir? I mean, if we were, it's a great question. 2 things to it. No problem in having an EPC, and we did think about that option, but that didn't feel like a very real option because of 2 things. Number 1, I think we just believed that we could do it. It started from there. And number 2, sir, what happens is when you run a family business, and well, I don't think it's a family business. It is a traditional family business. When you want to make competent leaders around you, I think this journey really helps hone the talent. It really explores your character and to define if you are a good fit for this industry or not. So going through any number of vendors or whatnot is just a part of the process which we thoroughly enjoyed. So EPC was not a real option for us. Thank you. Yes.
Good evening, sir. In the start of this session, you started one exhumate
Yes.
software and you got success in that and you sold it to someone else and started one steel company. Like you got success in that and you could go further in that stream only in IT field, making it more innovative or something new product. But why you choose to sell it off and start something new only?
Phenomenal question. Thank you, very well said. Thank you for that question. Two reasons primarily. Swadharma, I think, like I said, even when I was doing such things, I was more interested in finance, and I think there was a calling that just kept on coming. I have many callings a day, but this was a little bit stronger. I think that just happened very naturally, and like I said, everything to me is an experiment. So most decisions that we take in life, or most ways we have shaped, at least I have shaped in my life, have come from two things: curiosity and experimenting. So the more that I explore my curious nature, I have gotten the benefits of. I have gotten the knowledge, and different aspects of my personality got discovered. And experiments, I think I did tell you about EduMates, which was a great success, but there were a couple of startups which failed also. So which I founded, and I think they have taught me much more. So yeah, I think experiments is very, very important. So you can say.
So my first question is, if you imagine if you're a first generation entrepreneur, what business you would be doing?
Great question, sir. For me to decide what business would I be doing, knowing what I know today and not coming from this family or not being associated with this, I think that for all of the students here, I think there is no better time in India to start your own business than today. The information available is at your fingertips. Any advice that you want is just out there. So for me, a structured approach would be first finding out what I really understand, right, what I really like. I would make a list of those things. For example, I would have no idea how to work in pharmaceuticals for that matter. So I would definitely not venture into that. Whatever I understand, whatever I study, I would probably start with that and dive deeper. There are systematic business models that you can build, of course, using a lot of public information available. And again, here, for example, if my core skill set was selling, I would do completely different things. If I was to become a salesman, I would have thought differently. If I think I could build products, build hardcore build products, I think my entire approach would change. If I think I was more of a people person and whatnot, I would have definitely gone into hospitality industry or whatnot. So I think just identify what your skill set is, number one. Be prepared to actually do the hard work and study and build your knowledge base there. And number three, it takes obsession and execution. It's very simple, sir.
Good, thank you. One more question. What is it that you did to attract the best talents for recruiting in your company? That's part one. And part two is, what is the future plan for the region as such? So Vineet Peety being into this region, what role or maybe a role of a catalyst is he going to play for the youngsters in this region? Thank you.
Sir, आप पूरी प्लेबुक पूछ रहे हो, बहुत बढ़िया. To answer the first question, what did we do to attract talent? I think, sir, number one, if you understand why do people work together, why do somebody trusts and puts their entire life into the hands of that organization. Of course, people here would first think of salary, but that's the last part. That's the last part of it. I think if you display or if you approach people with a sense of collaboration and showing them that we both want to work towards this vision, I think that is how the best and the best of the minds come to work together. They best minds in themselves means that they have a lot of experience, they have most of their desires exhausted. Now what they're looking for is to mentor, which I love. So great, whoever want to mentor them, our colleagues becomes our mentor. Number two, work for a bigger cause. What we did with SR strips and pipes, we commissioned India's first precision strip mill. So what happens with that is that it becomes a goal that even they want to compete. It is a goal that is higher than what they are doing today. It is a goal where a lot of people come together with respect, with transparency, share their knowledge, and genuinely contribute towards industry. So today it is not only about SRJ. Sure, SRJ is right here, but it is not only about that. This is a concrete roadmap for anybody in the space who wants to move ahead. So I think when you know that you are working for much more higher causes with a lot more intensity of life, I think it becomes much easier to attract such kind of talent. But I'm sure there are a lot of experienced people who I would want to ask this question to and who I would want to hear answers from. And to answer the second part, sir, can you please repeat the second question?
Is what is Mr. Vineet likely to do for the region, growth of the region? Is he willing to play the role of a catalyst, wherein inspiring the young minds start up their own enterprises, becoming entrepreneurs, or having more startup culture in this region? That was my second question.
Absolutely, sir. I don't think there is anybody better than Magic to do that. I would just be a very humble participant in it to act as a catalyst for them. So, yes. Exactly.
Jalna is a steel hub.
Yes, sir.
It's also a steel hub.
Yes, sir.
Steel plant exclusively run by women. Is it possible? Is it possible?
Women,
Steel plant run by women.
Exclusively women.
You mean across the all total workforce? I don't see any problem there. Like, of course, there is no distinction between why a man can do it and why a woman can't do it.
The photographs shown of the plant, I hardly see.
So if you look at towards your left, I have 3 of my, very core team members who are all females and who are running the damn show. So,
she just said that why is it a question?
yeah, I mean, no sir, we definitely, I think...
This is kind of math fixation question.
If I may ask a question. So Vineet, you talked about collaboration in the steel industry. So that is something which really caught my attention. And the question that I have is, typically in the traditional industry, it is the cost and scale that are very important for any industry, any business as such. So in a scenario like that, how do we achieve a healthy collaboration where a competitive advantage is also something that any company might seek for retaining the market share? So that is something that I would like to know from you. Thank you so much.
Sir, in the context of steel industry, at least that is what I can comment about, the people who are around us, okay, there is collaboration there, even though we manufacture the same product, and we sell at the same price, we sell to the same customers, we sell in the same geography, most of our people are also the same sometimes. So, having collaboration there, I think, is the largest example of what success could feel like. And that has happened because you will always be more benefited by collaborating than undercutting each other and treating each other like competition. Nobody's telling you to change your business practices. Anytime we say, there are 2 words that I used in my speech, that is the spirit of collaboration and the spirit of camaraderie. That doesn't mean that you forego your own interest for somebody else, but I think it's the spirit of it. I think in the smallest of decisions, be it technical help or be it guidance or be it laying the foundations of whatever problems that you're facing, I think it is the spirit that invites collaboration. I think that is what I wanted to convey. And forming that requires serious leadership that has been portrayed by many industry stalwarts, at least in Jalna. So, and we can only hope that generations like that of us continue that ahead. At least we will do our best. Thank you everyone, thank you very much.
Thank you, Vineet. Please have a seat. I will request Mr. C.P. Tripathi Sahab, Ashish Garde Sahab and Manish Sharma Sahab to please come on the dais. Manish Sharma Sahab, to please express your impressions, what you heard today. Please.
Vineet, congratulations for this excellent presentation. And whatever you are doing, please keep doing it.
that I just want to tell you. We have, in fact, after listening to you, and that endorses my belief in youngsters. A youngster with, great mindset, with great clarity, and completely aware of whatever he is doing. That is kind of example we could see in Vineet's presentation. And I hope that you will go beyond 20 pages of all the collection of your books, and you will finish many more books from cover to cover. And that will certainly happen once you cross your age of 40 years. And I rather Vineet, suggest you one thing. As you said, your interest is more on non-fiction, okay? And somewhere you mentioned about the curiosity part of it. I would suggest you to read also fictions. Fiction helps you to be, more curious, and you get into the character, and you start feeling that you are part of the story, and it is fictions, and that helps you to, develop more curiosity in you. So probably fiction can also help you to, go beyond 20 pages also. You just try this, okay? And I also invite you to my home to really see my library. I really love reading. And I could see in all the great people, he's a very young, of course, having interest in reading. And that is one thing which I really found best in your presentation. Please keep doing it, okay? Even collection is very, very important thing. You feel of buying book, that itself is great, okay? So congratulations for this excellent presentation. Best wishes for your all the future endeavors.
CP Tripathi sir to please come forward for concluding remarks. So please.
Good evening to all of you. I really enjoyed the presentation of Vineet for so many things that he brought out, which particularly youngsters can take home. He used three things: Swadharma. This is a word which probably he has coined, which is not in any textbook, but he has given new meaning to dharma and called it Swadharma. This is something where what he believed in became his dharma. And actually, philosophically, the definition of dharma has been toward that direction. We have somehow mixed it up with worship and puja and this thing. Dharma is really something which you believe, you follow. It's a way of life for yourself. And he says, Swadharma means it's my way of life. I want to go this way. And two more things which have come out is enjoyment and curiosity. He rightly said that if you enjoy your work, your health comes from your mental state. If you enjoy something, your mind is so happy and satisfied that your health automatically takes care of. It is the mental contradictions which really spoil your health. Yes, of course, you must do a little bit of movement. Muscles should not get totally dead or weak. That kind of a small thing should be done. Nutrition, proper nutrition, taking food on time. But the biggest health benefit comes to you from enjoyment. And if we take our work as enjoyment, this is something best that can happen. And you should always work where you get the enjoyment. This is one thing which comes out as a corollary of his presentation. And second thing is curiosity. Curiosity is generally the kind of activity or kind of thought process which brings you to a real analysis of what is happening and that is generated by curiosity. So I would probably recommend strongly that we all work towards enjoyment, work for curiosity, and I think most of us, if we do introspection, will find that we have had best moments when we enjoyed the work, we had best learning when we had the curiosity. And I agree with Munish that Vineet should follow fiction also, since most of what happens to be a fiction today seems to become reality tomorrow. It is the job of the generations to change that. What was fiction is today is reality tomorrow, and what is fiction today will become reality day after tomorrow. So this is something which, and fiction is what? What we imagine can happen, okay? What we imagine can happen. And we normally say in our scriptures and mythology, a lot of things are there which are coming true today. So somebody may have imagined, or somebody may have seen it in somewhere or the other. You may call it fiction, you may call it anything, but it's turning into reality. And therefore fiction is the sort of a guideline for you to do work and research and go ahead with it. So just repeating words of Munish, it was a good presentation, and it was the young man's way of presentation. We have seen earlier presentations which were in different league, different way. Some people made this presentation like this, but this was a younger way of presentation which probably today's generations will understand better. And for us, we have to really go very seriously into it to understand it, since we have an old mindset. But nevertheless, it did stimulate some of the mental cells, which I thank him for. Thank you very much.
I will request our President, Mr. Ashish Gadde, to present a memento to Mr. Vineet Peety. I will go for a formal vote of thanks. Thanks to Mr. Vineet Peety for the excellent rare share today, for a wonderful experience. Won't comment anything on fiction now. Thank you very much, Mr. Munish Sharma Sahab and entire team of MIT for the excellent facilities, because needless to say, earlier also mentioned, the upcoming rare share will also happen in MIT campus only. Yogesh Udgire Sahab, thank you very much for the excellent digital support. Audience, thank you very much for attending in large. Friends from the media, thank you very much. Nath Group management team, Palke Sahab, Joshi Sahab, Gajanan, everyone, thank you very much. Also the team of MIT, as I already mentioned. And to all the known and unknown resources, thank you very much. Wishing you a very happy and a nice evening. And I will request for a group photo with MIT team and NAT team. Kaude sir, please, for a group photo.